Good afternoon, and congratulations on passing the bar examination. As I am sure that you all know, passing the bar examination under ordinary circumstances is a difficult task at best. The fact that you met the challenge under the extraordinary circumstances that you did shows that you are remarkably talented and disciplined individuals who can and will accomplish everything in life that you put your minds and efforts to achieve. To be honest, our country is very much in need of that kind of drive, focus, and commitment. We are at an extraordinary point in our history. The pandemic continues to impact our lives. We are still in the wake of the killings of George Floyd and the social unrest that followed. And we have just experienced an election cycle that has challenged the very foundation of our democracy. I have no doubt that these past several months have been very challenging for you and to those you know and that you love. Let me assure you that you are not alone. We all have agonized over these intense last months. We are living through some troubling times, yet these are also times of great opportunity, particularly for those that are just starting their careers or starting a second career. You already are 3 steps ahead with your innate grasp of technology, your resilience, and your ability to quickly pivot to adapt to the rapidly changing circumstances. For those of you who have been admitted or will be admitted in the future, you are also in a position to develop a business model that is adaptive and relevant to this new era within the legal community. What a good place to be in as we edge towards a post-pandemic world. That sort of nimbleness will be essential to your success because, frankly, it's unlikely the legal landscape in Connecticut will ever return back to what it was. Yet this new chapter will also create new avenues for you and to make positive differences in your field and in your community. As important, you are venturing out into the workplace at an extraordinary time in this country's history. Sometimes it seems like every day things are getting worse. In our busy lives, we turn to video clips and sound bites for news and let the tenor of these brief snippets shape our outlook. Our mood is at the mercy of headlines, news feeds, and 140-character messages. We are accustomed to looking to our leaders and other public figures for encouragement and inspiration. And when it isn't readily available, we are easily discouraged. So in times like these, we need to think a little bit more about the sources of our hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Every day, especially when things get tough, I get inspiration from my colleagues, my friends, and my family. But these are not the only sources of my inspiration. A lot of my inspiration comes from people like you. People that see other things is improbable or even impossible and make that a new challenge to be conquered. I've always held a special place in my heart for people who love the law and respect and support the rule of law. The recent crises have made that even more special. The kinds of things that we are facing today usually occur once in a century, and even then, episodically and individually. Yet we seem to be experiencing them all at once. Our way of life has been turned upside down. People are stressed out, burnt out, and looking for solutions to problems we are facing. While I am an optimist, I know there are no simple solutions, no magic bullets, no elixirs that will bring instant resolution. And to be honest with you, at this point, I don't know what any of those solutions really are. But what I do know is that lawyers and the rule of law will be in the forefront of us thinking about them, finding them and creating them. As I have said many times before, the law is the very fabric that holds the society together, and lawyers are the keepers of that cloth with the ethical, moral, and legal responsibility to mend any tears that may occur. There are many challenges ahead, and many ways to meet those challenges. I urge you to meet them head on. This is not the time to be complacent. One of the things that practicing attorneys can do to navigate through these difficult times is to get involved in as many pro bono cases as soon as possible, because it is in this area of practice that attorneys may have the biggest and most significant impact. After all, we have failed in our mission to provide justice and liberty for all if our most vulnerable people in our society cannot access our legal system simply because they cannot afford to. Even if you decide that you don't want to practice law, even if you don't want to practice law, but to use your legal skills in other areas, dedicate some of your time to those who need it, but can't afford it. I often find that my volunteer work gives me more satisfaction in return than I've ever received from a paycheck. In addition, I urge you to always remember the importance of civility, particularly in these bitterly partisan times. Our words matter, not just what we say, but how we say it. Yes, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can bring down an entire democracy. The ever-increasing incivility in our social discourse has reached a point where it has weakened the very foundation of the greatest experiment in democracy and self-governance in world history. Graduates of the law are word masters. I urge you to use this power cautiously and for the greater good. As an individual who has passed the bar examination, you will be one of the most powerful and influential people in our society. But to paraphrase Sir Winston Churchill, with great power comes great responsibility. For those of you who have been admitted or who will be admitted in the future, when you speak as a lawyer, please remember you are not going into battle. You are not out to metaphorically slay your opponent. You are walking into a situation of strategy and ability, where you will zealously represent your clients with passion based on the rule of law and the facts of your case. And when you are done, you will leave with an understanding that no matter how the court rules, you and your client were treated respectfully, fairly, courteously, and you have done the same for your opponents, the court and the staff. Yes, in the end, only one side will prevail in a particular matter. But the truth is that in the long run, we all win. It is through our legal system and the rule of law that we can and that we should resolve our most difficult conflicts. If all of this sounds deeply personal, to use a phrase of the day, sorry, not sorry. And that's because it is deeply personal to me. I've spent my entire adult life as a lawyer, a civil advocate, an attorney trial referee, a judge of the Superior Court, a judge of the Appellate Court, an associate justice of the Connecticut Supreme Court, and now as Chief Justice working to make our country and our judicial system live up to its obligations and ideals. As many of you will learn as you age, gratitude for what's good in your life grows with every decade. To say that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to serve my home state as Chief Justice would be a vast understatement. You see, I was born at a time when American apartheid was still legal and being practiced in the South and in the North. And I can remember when my family couldn't stay at many places of public accommodation or even use a restroom. I remember when you couldn't marry a person that you loved if he or she was of a different race. And killing people that looked like me was not a punishable crime. You see, I was born shortly after 14-year-old Emmett Till was beaten, tortured, castrated, and shot through the head. But let me state this. Our country is much, much better than it used to be. When I was born, it was improbable, if not impossible, for my parents to ever think that their son would become the first Black man to become an attorney representing the city of Stamford, the city of my birth, the fifth Black man to sit on the Connecticut Appellate Court, the fourth Black man to be appointed to the Connecticut Supreme Court, and the first Black man to ever sit as Chief Justice of this court. It is not lost on me that I've held these positions, not because I was the first Black person qualified to do it, but because I was the first Black person ever given the chance to do it. Nor is it lost on me that Governor Malloy nominated me and the Connecticut General Assembly, Republicans, Democrats, unaffiliated, men, women, Black, white, brown, Asian, Latino, unanimously affirmed the nomination of me, a Black man, to be a Chief Justice. It was an incredibly humbling moment, but one which I am very proud of. It has been a long, tough road for our state, for our country, and for our democracy. But as my wife Nancy often reminds me, the struggle for America to live up to its promises is not a sprint, but a marathon. And to this marathon, I bring to the table a daily reverence for and gratitude for the rule of law. If there's anything that will save this nation, that will sustain the water of America's promise of liberty and justice for all, it is the rule of law. My fervent hope is that you will treasure and honor this core value of our courts and of our country every day for the rest of your life. I have one more piece of advice. Dennis Whiteley, a motivational speaker, once said, "Learn from the past, set vivid, detailed goals for the future, and live in the only moment of time over which you have any control, now. I believe that this is a challenge for the legal profession. Experienced attorneys must learn to be open to new ideas and goals and innovative approaches. Newly admitted attorneys must be willing to study and to learn from past successes and failures. And together, we need to apply this collective wisdom to the problems we are facing right now. I will leave it up to your generation to come up with the new ideas, goals, and innovative approaches. And while the story of your future is still being written, I am confident in your ability to drive the narrative and to make long-lasting contributions. Congratulations on passing the bar exam. I would now like to turn it over to the Honorable Ann C. Drangenis, the chair of the Bar Examining Committee, and a person who I consider to be one of my greatest mentors, Judge Drangenis.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. As is customary, hearing the Chief Justice speak really makes all of us want to take a deep breath and process his entire message. So personal, heartfelt, and what a strong message it is. First, I want to offer all of you on behalf of all of the members of the Bar Examining Committee, to you, your parents, spouses, families, and friends, all your loved ones, a hearty congratulations for a successful passing of the bar exam, particularly during this year. Of course, we were joined in a bit of a struggle during this terrible COVID year for the examining committee to meet its responsibility to administer a bar exam when we were challenged not to do that in a congregate setting because of the threat of COVID, and when the exam had to be canceled and moved to a date when the National Conference of Bar Examiners would administer the test, all of which was upsetting for test takers and for us as well. We all went through the process of dealing with the technology that would be required and all the processes of applying, pre-testing, and reorganizing on almost a daily basis to really have the exam happen. The committee was well aware of the stress that this occasioned to all of you, and I want you to know that that knowledge was stressful for us, and we tried to be as responsive as possible to what you were going through. But the test happened, and I'm sure that all of you were relieved by its conclusion when you were successfully able to upload your answers, and even more relieved when you received your passing score. I do hope that many of you have had the pleasure of having someone near and dear to you, a mentor perhaps, swear you in as a member of the Connecticut Bar. I hope that all of you will have that wonderful experience. The ceremonial swearing in has always been a wonderful event and celebrated the hard work that all of you have engaged in for so many years. That celebration, like many life transitions and the celebrations of those transitions in this COVID season, were interrupted, interfered with, or simply did not happen. But we hope that your very personal and intimate celebration was a very special day for you just the same. As our Chief Justice said, you have passed the bar at a momentous time in our country's history. I came of age in the 60s and worked in Robert Kennedy's Senate office in New York City while in college. He believed that our institutions should always reflect the change, a constant in our lives, and that change as it affected our communities. And to effect those changes, one should work within our institutions to make those institutions responsive and relevant to the people, to make them stronger. Never in my life did I envision what occurred last week in Washington. So becoming a new law school graduate and having passed the Connecticut bar examination in this particular year poses a number of significant challenges to you all. How will you protect the rule of law? How can you protect the rule of law for the underserved members of our communities who desperately need help with legal problems? How will you work to improve the processes of the law which protect people and defend our rights? How will you respond to the future provision of legal services, which are changing, and respond to the regulatory changes in the practice, which are coming? This is an exciting time to be a young lawyer. I hope you use your considerable intelligence and talents, as the Chief Justice said, and your desire to improve the lives of others in creative and productive ways for our communities and the world. You all can, and you must. As Robert Kennedy said in July of 1964, just because we cannot clearly see the end of the road, that is no reason for not setting out on the essential journey. Embark with joy in this next chapter of your journey. Work hard, but be kind to yourself and others. Your wellness is important, not just to you, but to your clients, to your entire profession. Remember the solemn oath that you took and will take. It is serious business. Cherish your integrity in all matters. Your self-respect will flow over to be an inspiration to others. Always do what is right. And please protect truth. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Amy Lynn Myerson, the president of the Connecticut Bar Association.
Thank you, Judge McGinnis. Good afternoon. Congratulations on passing the Connecticut Bar exam. My name is Amy Lynn Myerson. I am the president of the Bar Association, chairman of Organization of Attorneys and Legal Professionals. It has been 30 years since, as a law student, I got involved with bar associations and have enjoyed the benefits of active participation. I've seen firsthand the power of connecting with others involved in the law and legal community and the resulting success in promoting justice and strengthening our legal profession. It is with that in mind that I chose Connect to Succeed as this year's theme for the Connecticut Bar Association. At the CBA, we are focused on championing our communities, broadening networks, and advancing justice. Through our 70+ sections, committees, and task forces, the CBA provides professional development and networking opportunities that are crucial to the exchange of ideas and information to equip you with the knowledge and resources to serve your clients while staying connected, resilient, and motivated. The CBA delivers the outstanding services and award-winning CLE programs you need to be legal professionals. One of our largest and most active sections is our Young Lawyers section, or YLS, that is the home in the CBA for new attorneys who are 37 years old or younger, or who've been admitted to the bar for less than 6 years. Many of you know about and have taken advantage of the free CBA membership for full-time law students in good standing enrolled in the law schools at the University of Connecticut, Yale University, or Quinnipiac University, or at a Connecticut resident attending an out-of-state school of an ABA accredited law school. We thank you for your membership. Once you're admitted to the Connecticut Bar, you will receive a letter from the Connecticut Bar Association confirming your automatic free membership to the CBA as a new attorney and offering you an opportunity to join up to 3 of our sections for free for the remainder of the bar year. Thank you, Chief Justice Robinson and the Connecticut Judicial Branch for inviting the CBA to participate in this virtual event. The CBA is committed to supporting the operational needs of the courts and our judicial branch, as traditional means of access to our courts have been impeded by this coronavirus pandemic and at this time of civil unrest, where there's an even greater need to have access to the legal system. Through the provision of pro bono services, Connecticut attorneys continue to work diligently to get people the legal help they need to narrow the access to justice gap. Taking on pro bono cases is a great way to develop skills in a new practice area, work with more seasoned attorneys, and help our most vulnerable neighbors who are desperate to get access to basic human necessities. Check out our pro bono opportunities and free training videos at ctbar.org/pro bono. The CBA also diligently works to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in the legal profession and to protect democracy and defend the rule of law. A few of our projects include the Constance Baker Motley Speaker Series on racial inequality that explores issues of racial inequality and systemic racism presented by the CBA in collaboration with the Connecticut Bar Association. And on November 3rd, during the general election, through the CBA's Secretary Legal Assistance Program, over 175 attorneys stood at the ready to assist Connecticut Secretary of the State Denise W. Merrill and her office at polling places across Connecticut to protect and ensure our right to vote. Of course, no one could have predicted that we would be experiencing great social unrest right in the middle of a global pandemic and that this bar year would be hosted entirely virtually. With the overall well-being of Connecticut legal professionals in mind, our CBA Lawyer Wellbeing Committee stresses the importance of self-care and shares knowledge, experience, insight, and tips to help us think about what we are doing to promote our well-being and how we may do more to improve self-care and to promote it within our workplaces. Our website at ctbar.org, you can access free online on-demand webinars and resources on these topics and more. The Starting a Practice section available on our solo and small firm resource portal may be of particular interest to you. There is a wealth of resources available at all of our state's bar associations for you as you begin your new journey in the Connecticut legal community. In addition to the Connecticut Bar Association, you may be surprised to learn that there are approximately 50 other county, local, affinity, and specialty bars in Connecticut, including the Fairfield County Bar Association, Hartford County Bar Association, New Haven County Bar Association, New London County Bar Association, Tallinn County Bar Association, Greater Danbury Bar Association, Greater Bridgeport Bar Association, Connecticut Criminal Defense Lawyers, Connecticut Defense Lawyers Association, Connecticut Trial Lawyers Association, the Connecticut Asian Pacific American Bar Association, the George W. Crawford Black Bar Association, the Connecticut Hispanic Bar Association, the South Asian Bar Association of Connecticut, and the Connecticut Italian American Bar Association. We welcome your active participation in championing our communities as we continue to strengthen, grow, and elevate the standing of Connecticut's legal profession. To learn more about the Connecticut Bar Association and to provide us with your questions, comments, and suggestions, visit us at ctbar.org. We look forward to hearing from you. Once again, congratulations on passing the bar exam. Stay safe and be well. It is now my pleasure to turn the program back over to Chief Justice Robinson. Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Amy Lynn Myerson, and thank you, Judge Rankinis, for those inspiring words. I am envious of the opportunities that await you and certain of your abilities to address them head on. Even during these days where everything goes wrong, please trust me on this. The crucible of time, experience, and even failures have a remarkable way of making us stronger, wiser, more determined than ever to reach our goals. So again, on behalf of myself, the Connecticut Supreme Court, congratulations on passing the bar examination. Be well, be safe. Thank you.